Pull up a stool and pour yourself a pint as you're about to join three intrepid drinkers, Kevin, Justin, and Mark, as they embark on another Beertastic voyage.
Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Beertastic Voyage. My name's Kevin.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Justin.
And we are here at the new residence of 27A Brewing with owner, brewer, Ryan Cooke. Hey Ryan, how are you?
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Thanks for inviting us over to your place, man. It's an awesome looking place. Yeah,
Oh yeah, thanks for coming down, setting up the. This is great. I feel like which one of you is the young Jamie?
Oh, Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, they don't know Joe Rogan like we know Joe Rogan.
I know Justin is a cult member.
I generally
That's
abstain
right.
from organized religion.
That's why we
Yeah.
get along so
Oh my
That's why
god.
we're
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, I've literally listened to every single one.
Oh yeah.
And my son has probably heard Joe Rogan's voice more than my own. Seriously.
That's a quote right there.
One of the things I didn't know about this place, I knew that it was like the history of Lindenhurst, and there was a bunch of places that were empty and newer places were taking over, like you and Meadworks. But I didn't realize the history behind it. Can you talk a little bit about kind of the impetus of you getting this building and everything?
Yeah. So growing up, this is the 90s. This is the place you begged your parents to bring you, and they spent all their money on a bike that's not really meant for riding very far. Very heavy pegs because it looks cool. You think you can do BMX and do backflips, but you can't. So this is the local bike shop.
Okay.
I think we got the video here if you're watching. Got the sign I found in the basement of when they grand opening.
Oh yeah, back there, the new home of Bike Works.
Yeah, so that's cool. So growing up, knew it as that, and then for a little while after that, it was like an antique slash religious shop. And that went under, and then it was vacant for 10 or 12 years. So it's been a ride getting up to speed into 2019 with all the AEA regulations. But before that, the building's from the 1880s, and it was a guy's tin shop who did the original ceilings here. And
Wow.
Then, yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then you lived, there's a little apartment above. So you kind of lived, and then I have a photo in the corner of the tasting room where you can see it's like a dirt road, and it's not. It's, 1890, circa, they don't even know. And then in the 20s, it became the town's butcher shop. And for 3 generations, it was a butcher shop, which worked out well for me because they put a floor drain in the back and slow floor. And they had a cold room that was not, that kind of still had some insulation in the walls, cork. So
Wow,
that worked
cork
out.
insulation.
That's what it was. We demoed that.
That's so good.
So some spots only had to put, a little bit of the 2018, 2019 insulation on top because
Right.
the R value, we looked it up, it was 9.
Well, that's because you're not hanging a quarter of a cow back there that's
Yeah.
already frozen. That acts as a cooler anyway.
Yeah.
That helps it out.
Exactly.
Takes a strain off the AC.
A little
Sides
bit.
of beef.
Yes.
But I'm looking at the sign across the room, and I see that it says Banker's Butcher Shop. And Mark and I grew up in Centereach with Banker's Bakery right there. And I'm just wondering if it's part of the same family. I know I asked you before, you said you weren't really sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Next time I see them around, because the last owners, they were here a couple weeks ago. They donated us some cool artifacts. I don't even know how you describe those things.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia, yeah. So we have some wrappers, mint condition, framed up on the wall from One Cent Butcher Shop. You guys also didn't see in the bathroom. We have a photo. It's pretty dope over the toilet. So while you're doing your thing, you can see the family out back.
So they can watch you and judge you as
they watch you again. And the main guy who started it, his name is Gregor. Gregor Banker. We got to toast up to him. If any place is haunted, it's definitely this place. So
That's awesome.
yeah, he's there with his family, just like a boss. He looks like he's got the what was that show on HBO with the Al Capone?
Yeah. Oh, God, totally forgot. A Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got they're all dressed like that. He's got a big fat cigar. And he's just you're like, this guy is just a man.
Right.
So
Yeah, this is a pretty cool place. But let's go back and talk a little bit about how you got started brewing, and how you became a haze brewer.
Haze bro. That's why it's fun coming around the beer club meetings with the haze.
Yes, exactly.
With the juice. Or I call them modern IPAs. So.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
Yeah. So don't put crystal malts in these. You can put carafoam. You can get tactical honey malt. Okay. Take the crystal malt, but otherwise.
No,
Ditch
no,
everything
no,
else.
like Crystal 80. Don't
Some
put in
people,
Crystal 80.
yeah, no C40, no C60. Some people like the C10 for the orange probably well, but
So a little less insider baseball, though. But like, how did you get into brewing in general, and just kind of what dragged you into the idea of saying, "Hey, man, I like doing this," and then how did you get to going from I'm just making this because I like drinking it to I think I can make a living.
yeah. So I always wanted to own a bar.
Okay.
So I like partying and hanging out with people, drinking beer with people. It's a nice pastime.
We're in agreement with you there.
Right?
Drinking beer,
I mean,
good
it's
pastime.
like, I'm not religious, but it's like, there's something about that tribal mentality of people drinking fermented beverages, you know, having fun.
Yeah.
Just kind of for thousands of years. So, anyway, I first started drinking craft beer, and this was during the IBU race, back in Stone and Point.
To try to get
120 IBUs.
Yeah,
single cuts trying to rip your tongue out.
Yeah, well, this is right before single cut open, but yeah. So we would just get IPAs that from 7-Eleven that you know, like Optical Illusion or any of the Stones, and yeah, they're just improperly stored warm, old as fuck. So yeah, you drink it and you're like, you think you're the cool guy because the label's cool on
This
it.
is bitter newspaper.
And you just like, you're like, yeah, man, like, this is it, this is great. Like, and then you're not trying not to be the guy who's like, nah, this is terrible. Because it's like, you know, everyone else is drinking, you
Peer
know.
pressure's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but it's part of the fun, for sure. And then, well, those old school West Coast IPAs, it gets to a point where your palate's burnt out as fuck. And you can kind of just get used to it. And that's all you can drink. So you drink anything else, and it's just,
Well, it's because there's no taste buds left on your tongue after you drink it up.
literally, yeah. I used to crush out Ruination by Stone all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the whole point of it. It's called Ruination because it just destroys your palate.
Oh, God.
Forever. It's not like it's not like it's fried for the day and you're like, oh man, I'm just not gonna taste anything later. It's just like, no, forever everything will taste like this.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, so I, you know.
Forever.
Exactly. I feel like we're close. This is the kind of neighborhood where you could have like a crazy dog neighbor with a dog like that just eats old tanks or something.
Oh, for sure. Well, there's like in West Babylon, there's junkyards. And,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Riding my bike through. Meanwhile, this was like 5 years ago because I don't drink and drive. I ride my bike.
Nice.
And yeah, junkyard dog came out and chasing us. And yeah, it was fun. And it was literally that moment where I'm like looking back at my friend and the dog's jumping and like trying to get his ankle. And I'm just like, dude, let's go. So it's pretty crazy, but you know, getting back on topic. So, you know, at that time, my friend, he got a new job. So we were younger. I was 21, just turning 22, and he had a good job, career, just out of college, and so he had money. So he's like, "Fuck it, let's start brewing beer." I'm like, "Is that even possible? Like, what are you talking about?" So he's like, "No, I looked up northernbrewer.com. Like, we can get a kit. I'm ordering it." I'm like, all right, what are you ordering? Pumpkin beer, dude. I'm like, all right, is there pumpkin in it? He's like, nah, it says you just put the spices in. It tastes like pumpkin. I'm like, okay.
Sure.
So, funny story.
The
That
Denny
is,
Kong school.
yeah, so, you know, extract brew, following the instructions, very confused by everything, unsure of every step of the way, which is part of the fun.
Do we have the water now?
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So, on that flow, you know, we do everything, and then we put the old ass dry yeast back in, like, whatever. But you know, it's still gonna work. So 2 weeks later, he opens the bucket, and he's like, "There's no crowds, and it didn't work." And he just pours it down the drain. And then I'm like, dude, I don't know. I watched some like YouTube videos or read something. Like, I think that
We
stuff
waited too long.
just settles out.
Yeah.
And like crashes out. And I'm like, I think it was. I'm like, did you taste it before? He's like, no, I just do it. It didn't work. I'm like, but how do you know? And he's like, I don't. He's like, you know, there's another kit in there, like a pale ale or IPA. He's like, take that, take the stuff, brew it, and then we'll drink it. So I did. And yeah, it's probably outside as fuck and terrible. And but it was like the route to like, okay, I can kind of taste this being good, I guess, or better than at the time. I don't know, shitty beer.
It doesn't matter. You made it.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what it comes down to in the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
in the beginning, you're like, holy shit, I made it, you're drinking it. Then it takes someone to come along and tell you it's bad.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, yeah, this is bad.
Well, again, when we go through, you know, sensory training and stuff,
Yeah.
and the single courses, it's like, I know acetaldehyde because I made some acetaldehyde. box.
Yeah.
I know to ask them because I made some
It's
debox.
it's a bad feeling when you're going through that panel and you're like, this is the first time I'm tasting this and I know what it is, but fuck, I've tasted this before.
By my own hand, numerous times.
Exactly.
So, but for me, it was good because my friends would still tell me it's great. But deep down, I was like, this is terrible. And it's fun because it was like that was the quest. I'll never brew a perfect beer. I don't think any of us will. Well, I know you. You'll get close.
We listen, according to Tom Weber, the liquid hater was goddamn close, 47 out of 50.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I don't think we'll ever beat that.
No, but I think that's like part of the fun, like our type people,
yeah.
where it's. Now you guys are. What happened with the last 3 programs? Like, let's look at that. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
We rigged the system. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's what we've heard at least.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been saying that.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else has said it. I've been saying that.
I think
The veracity of it is questionable, but that's what I've been saying.
Yeah. Again, like that smaller competition, whatever, et cetera, but you guys, you're very informed in the brewing process and all that stuff, and now it's like you can still learn more.
Oh God, yeah.
And that's part of the fun. But now it's like the beer, you homebrew are even better or more dialed into commercial stuff.
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah, I can definitely think of several times, even recently, that I've had commercial stuff and been like, oh wait, it's not as bad. There's a little something wrong with this, or even just inspiration. I can do this differently to make the beer better, or something like that. I know Mark and I think talk about it all the time.
I think that's definitely something that you start to realize that just because it's commercial stuff doesn't mean that it's now magically perfect.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But when you first start drinking craft beer and you first start getting into it, you kind of think like, well, this is the mass-produced stuff, like they're pros at it. This must be what it's supposed to taste like.
Obviously, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, I still kind of feel like they know what they're doing and they make it. I still tend to blame like storage and once it leaves the brewery and gets to me, like there's too many hands that touch it that I just don't trust. That I'm just I feel like they would create a lot of problems, but yeah, I do understand. I'm not saying that everything that a brewery produces is going to be perfect.
You've definitely had the 1 or 2 beers in a flight at a brewery though, where you've been
that one's not right. Yeah,
right.
Something's off.
Yeah. The other thing about it is, there's also the commerce aspect. If I make a beer that is terrible, I literally just dump it. Like or it's usually not terrible, thankfully. Usually it's just I feel like disappointment.
Right.
I feel like I wanted to do X and this isn't it, and every time I drink it, I'm sad. So I dump it.
Right.
And it's 5 gallons of beer.
I hate myself. Why do I keep drinking this?
Yeah, maybe it costs me like $30 or $50 to make, but when you're making it sell,
hours.
right?
This is fucking terrible. I need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me keep drinking. There's definitely been a couple beers here and there, and I don't look at you just know that something's not right. But this one that you're sharing with us has a whole lot, right? Can you tell us about what you poured for us, what we're drinking right now?
Yeah, so this is I call it a modern IPAs. So there's this one actually has no crystal malt at all. It's just 2-row base. I know. That's all right. 21B, baby. So it's got 2-row white wheat oats and then some modern fruity hops. I like a little bitterness. I've used in my beers, so I always do the first for hop. And then along the way in the boil, on the larger scale, when you go up, you can kind of get away with just hitting all multiple hops.
Okay.
But if you guys know, judging some New England IPAs, it gets flabby. It's one-dimensional hot tea. Like when you make sure you get your hot side IBUs, it really balances out the beer and makes it taste like beer, not just hot soda. Which is like, again, a lot of people in the market today, they get excited over that, but if that's what you're going for, that's fine. But I like.
Is this Malta?
Yeah, like I like, even this. So this beer is drier. Finished at like 10.
Really?
And so the sweetness is really from the hops.
I'm really enjoying this. This is probably at the top end of my hop preferences.
Right. Yeah.
But it's cool. It's refreshing. It's got that little bit of sweetness to it, and it's the middle of July right now, and it's just hot and gross on Long Island. And
exactly. Yeah. So I brew this for friends right now. I'm a little busy with the filling out this place, getting ready to do the actual batches. So I do a little flying out.
I'd be going through this while I'm working, just to stay hydrated.
Yeah, hell yeah. So there's a Hallertau Blanc, El Dorado, and put on outside, and then again, and then first dry hop, second dry hop, Simcoe Mosaic. Just a little bit though, where it's it's not total haze brew. It's more like in the middle of the road, nice balance. I feel like
Session New England IPA.
Yeah, so it's 6%. Again,
Yeah.
I mean, could have thrown lactose vanilla in there and got all crazy.
No, I think it's really nice to have something clean. It's a fully formed idea. It's got a layers of flavor to it, but it's not overwhelming. It doesn't need to go crazy. You got this one. Stamp it.
Yeah.
Check.
Right.
Leave this one alone, though. If you want to play with it later, go for it. But just make sure you save the original version.
That's
for
the part of the
future
fun
use.
is once you always got a critique. And,
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I understand.
I'm like relentless when taking notes and like even beers, and that's what I love. They're so fragile. So depending on when you pull it off the keg, temperature served, how long it sat around, conditioned for. Obviously, the big thing with IPAs, people are like pushing the freshness, but a lot of them will be green, too fresh. And as long as your oxygen levels are in check, we'll have a good beer for a couple months. It might even get better.
Yeah, that was always one of the more interesting things for me when people talk about the style. They're like, oh, you basically have to have it in the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I'm always like, well, I don't know. I can't be true because they can the shit out of a lot of this stuff. You know what I mean? There's no way. If it was only good for that long, then they would be basically making 3/4 of their product would be worthless.
Right. So, so getting back onto my home brewing track is then I started brewing, I think I had a can of hop hands by Tire Hands a couple years ago. I don't know how I got it, I can't remember, but that was the beer. I was like, and obviously Heady Topper and Focal Banger are like huge inspirations.
Right.
In my realm of going from like brewing, because I would do like Pliny the Elder clones and like changing hops, stuff like that.
Yeah, that reminds me, like, I don't know, it's got to be like 4 years ago, maybe longer than that. Like, I hadn't been brewing for that long, and like my brother came out from Ohio to visit me. It was before I got my brother into brewing.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, while you're staying with us, like, why don't we brew a beer? And that way you can see like what the process is like, whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, I really like IPAs. I'm like, oh. So we ended up making.
What kind of IPA? I really like the grassy ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Super bitter.
So
Once again, proving that you and Rob can't get farther apart.
Yeah. we ended up making like the Hop Lord kit from More Beer.
Nice. Yeah.
And I ended up doing like a vodka tincture for all the hops that were supposed to be dry hops. So that way, like within the week, we could like brew the beer, bottle it up, and he could take it with him when he left. Basically.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's.
I don't like it. Honestly, it turned out pretty decent. I ended up drinking it.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as I was expecting.
It's a lot easier to drink beer that you don't like when you make it yourself. It's kind of like when I made that pale ale with like grapefruit and wood for chopped. And I was like, I can totally drink this. And 90% of that was because I made it.
Yeah. Well, so
It's a pretty good beer, but it's just not my jam.
Storage,
Yeah. I'm past that point.
Warm or whatever.
Right.
Might not be.
At this point, it's like, I made this. I don't want to drink it anymore. I bring it to the office.
Yeah, that's the best part
It's
about it.
Friday. There's a keg of beer in the kitchen.
Friday, Mark brewed
Don't
beer.
disappoint me. I don't want to bring beer home.
Drink it.
So when did you transition to making the hazier versions of IPAs? I feel like you were like way at the beginning of the whole thing.
Yeah. I think around 2015.
Wow.
And because I had some of it. It was just I could be wrong this time. So everything, it's all blurred.
Oh yeah.
It's all
Well, you were
blurred.
drinking throughout the whole thing, so.
Right.
You've been
But
drunk since 2013.
yeah. But anyway, so it's like it was cool where it's like you can't buy those style beers on the shelf at that time. Now you kind of can, but still, a lot of them miss the mark or whatever.
Right.
We can get into the semantics. But so then I started I always would have parties and craziness, and I'm bringing kegs of cornies to parties, and people were just like, "What the fuck is this? It's an IPA. All right, I'll try it." And then they're like, "Wait a minute, this is palatable." And then it's like I've heard that so many times in Hollywood. It's like, "Oh, but it's not too bitter, and it's more fruit forward." I'm like, "Exactly, that's what I'm going for." Are you sure there's no grapefruit in here? I might die. I have medicine for my heart.
Right.
I take
And
statins.
all I do is taste grapefruit, and I'm just like how much is in it? Because it's cool, this beer is great, but you're driving to the hospital right now. So it's like, there's been a lot of those moments, like family parties and stuff, where it's like, that adds to the fun. So transitioning to that, I I got pretty crazy, and like I just enjoy brewing hop forward beers, all that stuff. And then I ended up working for Ironheart Mobile Canning for a little over a year, which is real dope because I basically was obsessed with other half, and I realized like I'm not gonna really be able to get a job at other half because I have no experience. So I can maybe apply to the company that cans their beer, and then I could be at other half.
Yeah.
So that was a nice thing. And then I was like, wait, they also can for single cut and Finback, and then any breweries that popped up, since then in Brooklyn and Queens. And then even all the ones around at one point or another, they canned that when I was there, which was awesome.
Could you expand a little bit more on like what that process is with the canning that you were doing there? Like, just like kind of run through the canning process for me real quick. Like, you guys roll up with like a truck of stuff and just
So I
unload it. And
so I was
attach
actually the
hose and be like,
satellite
let's go.
guy because I was hired because it was like I just graduated college, which I graduated later in my life. Well, it was just like 24, 25. Again, it's all a blur. So I had a business degree, and again, I was like,
I was 29, so.
There you go. I
never actually graduated.
And now you work at college.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Right.
With that.
My college degrees are useless, so.
You're right.
I got 3 of them. They do
Three,
nothing for me.
Jesus.
Yeah, our friend Glenn's got like 16
Oh
or
my
something.
God.
I'm not sure.
Well, can you take classes since you work there?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I could.
But
See,
he knows
that's,
the people there, so that's why he doesn't want to.
No, actually, I actually sort of wear it as a badge of honor that I don't have one. I was able to persevere without one.
Nice.
Mostly because everyone when I left was like, you're never going to do anything now.
You will never amount to anything.
And I'm like, that's really weird because I left because I got a job offer. Like,
right, yeah, exactly.
But,
It's just people are.
yeah, they're dumb. But so you were satellite dude for the
For them,
campus?
because
Yeah.
eventually their plan was they're based out of Connecticut, and they're kind of all on the Vermont scene. Because again, small breweries doing like IPAs, they want to can them, and crank them out for 4-packs and pack-techs. They kind of like on the East Coast were like on that whole movement. So they had a bunch of different spots, and they were expanding onto Long Island, and they were trying to work out a deal with GSB where I would have a truck there with the line, and then that would be my hub, and I would go to I would go to Long Island or Canada GSB or whatever across Long Island, et cetera, name the brewery.
The Teamsters would call that a barn.
Barn, yeah, nice.
I was unaware of that.
Fun fact, but exactly that's what they were they were negotiating.
Trying to do.
And then they were like, oh no, we're actually going to put you closer to Brooklyn because we have so many accounts at Brooklyn and Queens. And that's why my guys would get stuck in traffic for like hours. They would have 20-hour days.
Oh my god.
They canned one brewery, and the guy, again, logistics, mismanagement. It was on the brewer and the brewery.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the name, but he had my friends there for my old board. They were there for 30 hours. They pulled, so
Oh my
I'm
god.
like, I had it, and they're like, God, we took naps and we were getting energy drinks because the guy was like a tyrant, and he was like, no, because they had to wait on the blank cans to come in.
Right.
But at the same time, you also had the distributor coming in, like, oh, we need the pallets, the cans ready to go. So he had those guys waiting too, and it was like a nightmare.
Oh,
So yeah, they have like a diehard hatred for that brewery now, and rightfully so, I guess.
Yeah.
30 hours.
So-
That's a pretty good.
Miserable experience, not gonna lie.
So yeah, I was canning. I applied, got the job. Again, I think they had longer plans for me, and I kind of fell through, but they liked me, so I stayed on board where I canned the other half and all the good guys in Brooklyn and Queens. And then I sometimes in Jersey, upstate, like Newburgh, Pennsylvania.
Wow, man.
And I was all over, yeah, and it was cool. It was a great experience because I'm selling the beer, and I was always in the back of my mind, I'm like a brewery, so it's like, now it's like, I'm not just working at one brewery, I'm working at a bunch. So
You got a lot of recon.
Yeah, which was great. And in the future, I think it will be even better coming in, but, I've opened my eyes to a lot of things, and then focusing on, quality control is like the biggest thing. Efficiency, so I would drive, and my guys from Connecticut, they had a warehouse there. They would drive a box truck, a lift gate, and they had the canning line, which was like the size of the bar here, on wheels. And, we roll it off, bring it down, roll it in the brewery, and then we have a decal for the cans on it. Sometimes we ship the cans to the brewery, or they bring it on a truck, and then we feed the cans in, hook up their tanks, dial in, all that fun stuff.
Per the cans, fill the cans.
Yeah, so there's basically, as it comes down, these are wild goose lines.
Right.
And there's many different competitors in that realm. And again, where it's like, yeah, some of them are multi-million-dollar can lines.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, think about the big guys. And then, now these are like smaller, but again, for small breweries, it's like they're paying for people to come with the can line that's like 150 grand. Like the line itself would be like 150. And then you have like 3 guys that are like trained to just bang it out and like, you know, quality control, like, you know, deal levels, dissolved oxygen levels, like in check, you know, everything's good. They kind of help you with logistics. So it's dope. So I was like, yeah, I just kind of like travel around and it's at all the different breweries. And then you roll the line in, yeah, fill. There would be like 4 things to first CO2, then fill, and then immediately cap on foam. Hashtag. That's like the crazy thing. So I'm sure you guys know about that from competitions, filling bottles with beer guns. Like, yeah, it's very important. You know, so like, especially with these hop forward beers, which a lot of them are selling because direct to consumer out of the tasting room. That's where money is, and people like them in such a volume style. Where you know, and then cap on foam, dial it in nice, and then it would come out. It would go through the steamer, it's steamed up, and then come out, and then the brewery guys that work in the brewery would come like 4 big packets.
Okay.
Yeah, some we used to, well, they used to have like the ringer, which was annoying as hell, because it would get like jammed up, and then every time I just like picture, as it like every 4-pack went through, I just pictured like a turtle dying, and I'm just like, this is like, and I'm asking like my guy, I'm like, why? And I'm like, oh, because it's cheaper than the pack tax. I'm like, but, oh god.
But all the death.
I think my favorite one that I've seen recently is the like the compressed cardboard 4-pack rings.
Oh yeah, the
Have you
ones.
guys seen
Yeah,
those?
they also the ones made out of kelp too.
Yeah, they're made out of like recycled cardboard and
I've
kelp.
seen the
and-
kelp one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we've all seen that little clickbait article for years now.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
brewery in Florida that's like starting to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but I think now someone picked up or bought the rights to them, where now it's like you're gonna see them at more breweries.
That's great.
Yeah, because even pack techs are like post-consumer.
Yeah.
Like they're from recyclables, but and then to recycle them properly, you have to send them back to pack tech.
Oh really?
So it's kind of like it's not the best. Where again, I think according to whatever, where it's like technically they're illegal in New York State because they're not. You can't recycle.
They're not actually
like you
recycled.
can't throw them in your recycling bin. And they can't process it.
I didn't know that.
So
I always threw them in the recycling bin. Did you? Mark is like the recycling
sure,
guru.
yeah.
He's the one who taught me to look at the number
Nice.
on the plastic to see whether I can
Respect.
recycle it or
I
not.
like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
I think
Yeah.
we can all agree though that just the idea of recycling in the U.S. is just terrible.
And
You
it
know,
could
we're
be,
terrible at using
yeah.
post-consumer waste
Oh, yeah.
and stuff like
Right. Yeah. And it's just it's bad.
that.
It's,
Sell it to China, they'll fix it.
yeah.
And sell it back to us.
That's what's gonna happen.
So how did you go from? So now you worked mobile canning, and then what was the next evolution in the journey to where we are
So
now?
before the canning, I did a graphic design work, and that was fun. Not really. Then went to the canning, and then I was like, I love this industry. I love like hanging out with brewers, being in the brew house environment, you know, blasting music and just canning. Amazing. Again, I'm canning it like I was once a week at Other Half
Right.
for a year, and being a person who loves hop forward beers, it's like the best.
I'm sure they never came over and said, "Hey, try this."
Get to that, maybe where in regards to we have to check for, even on the line, you have to check for diacetyl and acetaldehyde.
Right.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
Gotta do
So
some
you
quality
gotta
checks, yeah.
you gotta do some quality control. So,
Of course.
That's important.
You know,
Hugely
and
important.
meanwhile, it's like literally people are like lining up outside for the next day
Yeah.
release. So, you know, there'd be like bad seams and like we just gotta pour it down the drain, and we just always joke we're like this is so many like of the haze bros tears like down the drain. But like it's like well it has to happen because it's like you can't, you know, it's part, it just happens. It's,
Yeah.
you know, a small percentage. But so I went from that, and then I was like, I'm gonna go back to my friend had a job like marketing, advertising for a apparel company out in Holbrook. Which is funny because it was like right over by all the breweries over there.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was terrible. I hated it. And it just, yeah, it was like, okay, I get it now. I cannot do this anymore.
Right.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna stash away money. Because again, where it's like, I had like this deep-rooted thing where like I don't like being told what to do. I don't know. I listened to too much punk music as a kid, so it's just like, I just, you know, even that's why I'm a 3-barrel system and not a 15, because we don't have necessarily investors.
Right.
We have other things that like help. It's not slashing kind of corners, no black ball. jacketed, et cetera, et cetera. This space is, I've had to put work in this space for the reasons, you know. So I went and did the market advertising, and then I transitioned out of that to just doing their like social media marketing. So I was like, you know, contracted for them, which is dope. Because that summer I just would home like 4 times a week.
Right.
And I would be doing like doing their Instagram while I'd mesh in and they'd be like, all right, I'll post on Instagram now. Right. Or I'll manage this, or I'll do this, or I'll set up this like, you know, this order for them for like stickers and marketing. And then at the end we ended up I was teaching Phil how to brew, and because he hated where he was going with pest control, and I ended up saying whatever to him, and then we were going to see the Descendants. They were playing at the House of Bands, which is like an old punk band.
Right.
And they were playing at the House of Bands at Greenpoint, and we ended up going, you know, let's get some beers right across the street at Greenpoint Beer Now. So he ended up, we started talking to the brewers there. One guy's like, I'm leaving, take my job. I'm literally moving next week. We haven't hired anyone. So Phil took that job.
Wow.
And then the other guy, or they needed someone else, but I was like, I'm not trying to drive out to Greenpoint 5 days a week. So
Right.
I worked it out. It was like I would work 3 days, 3 or 4 days a week, and just long days. And I'd be super early in the morning. And then, but it was like a really awesome experience. It's a 5-hour system, but we did canned beer with my old crew.
Oh, wow.
So it was like, yeah.
So they'd be coming in and be like, oh, what's up, man?
Yeah, so it's pretty funny in that regard. And that's like literally what it was. But we had a lot of double days of brewing to fill tanks for cans. And then, yeah, we were doing like hot forward beers. But we'd also do like, you know, some cultures. Another big one for them was like an English porter. And we just, you know, so we were kind of all over the place doing some sours, doing little kettle sours.
Yeah.
We had a couple there's a couple barrels there that we definitely mess around with. But also like me and Phil, like we put beers in things, and then like we left, and then like we're like, oh god, they're like they modeled it. Like we gotta go get some. Like we need to try these beers, you know, because it's just.
We gotta find out what the hell happened.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that was cool, but it was real awesome. Where it's like it was a brew pub, and it was small, where the weekends it gets slammed. So we do some IPAs, like mess around with different grain bills, adjuncts, as in like phrase IPAs, you know, wheat, different wheats, oats, etc. And different hops, and then and different yeast strains. And then it's like, you know, we know it'd be good because we leave on Friday, coming on Monday, and it's just the beer's gone. That specific beer's just gone.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like I got a lot of experience of just like, you know, when you're so into that style, it's like, you know the cheat codes, you know where to hit all the marks, but it's like, oh, well, let's blend this, let's mess with this, or let's add this hop that like, should it be in this beer? Like, I don't know, let's accent it a little bit.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah, and that's where it was like, it was this perfect size where mine worked, you know, getting, even when LIB means, like, I don't know, I put some haze IPAs and some whatever competitions back in the day, and then like, the guys at Brewing, you know, which were super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I also can there too, so they were like, you know, anytime you're looking for a place to go, well, I'm gonna hire you. And then I think they all knew about the expansion, you know, the new breweries. You know, like they knew that they were need people. So.
Right.
But again, it's a little different. Even that's why I would drive, you know, 2 hours or an hour and a half in the morning at 5 a.m. and then have to wait. He still lived in Brooklyn for a year while he was working there. So he like.
So you're going from Brooklyn all the way to Greenport?
Yeah.
No, so this is Greenpoint.
Greenpoint,
sorry.
Yeah, Greenpoint.
Yeah.
Dude, it's one of my best friends worked at
I was
Greenpoint.
like, that's a big ass difference.
Yeah.
You guys know Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Lee is like, you know, the best. And he worked at Greenpoint. Now, see, I'm getting confused.
Greenport.
And
He
then
worked
even
at
like, I
Greenport.
talk about, like, I'll say something about, like, someone last thing, I'm like, yeah, my boy, like, Dalton is like at Blue Point.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you're getting me confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I would take the drive. It was worth it for me because it was a really awesome experience in brewing. And then there was this, the owner of that owned Brewery later on the block, so we'd get some breaks on some beers there, and they were getting like really good. Have you had any Oxbow beers?
Which ones?
Oxbow.
I'm not sure.
I'm feeling
if I
like
I've
have
done
one.
what I don't know that I've had
once.
So yeah, a lot of like they like doing mixed fermentation stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, this stuff's amazing. Where it's like that's where it was like I had like basically I was like, all right, I'm gonna drive home, be stuck out in like traffic for hours, or I'm gonna go. Me, the head brewer, and Phil would go to the brewery and just like crack bottles at like a discount and like drink all the taps and be like, you know, it's kind of like I got a lot of sensory vitality going from that. which was
Is
awesome.
that how Phil got into sour so much?
Yeah, so
okay.
we hear a lot like
How he became the goose puppy.
no, literally, that was there. Because like one night we just, and that's why it's like a dope discount, and like we would just get crazy, dude. Like, yeah, like you get like KO or whatever, 3 Fontaine, and then like Alapophy.
All the brewery bottles.
All the crazy ones, and like we'd have a couple guys there. We just sit there for hours and just share, and then like it was cool because there was like breweries where you'd be able to dissect the beers and be like, oh, I like this or that about it, or
think about how the process, how they got there.
Yeah. So there was that Greenpoint, so I was there for a bit, and then I left to start this, and I was for a while just floating around working on the business plan again. I came from Trinidad of a quote-unquote business school.
Right.
So I was like, oh, yeah, I have to have a business plan. Because initially I was like going to take an SBO one out, do like a 15 barrel. And then I was working on the space right around the block from here. It's like 10,000 square feet. It was going to be big. It was going to be crazy. And then the landlord he had a lot of stipulations. And I was working with my guy who was helping me with the lease. And I just had a couple signs that I was like, yeah, like, fuck this.
Yeah,
this is going to go
it's not
poorly.
going to be worth it.
Yeah, so I ended up talking to the state agent for town owners, like, because there's one guy who's involved in town, he kind of just shows everyone the spaces. So he opens up the back door here, he's like, this is the worst one, it's a lot of work, but, and then I like immediately trip over the floor drain, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then I see like, I basically like envision what we're in now, but from the photos you guys saw before, and I was like, wow, this could work. And like, I always, even direct draw, like, having the tax right out of the folder,
Yeah.
short line, like I'm all about that, like less line, but to clean.
Oh, for sure.
Because we would have, Phil would have to clean the lines at every point.
Oh.
And he would be there for hours. And I'm like, meanwhile, I'm like mashing out. I'm like, yo, what do you I didn't help mashing
You
out.
still fucking around with that?
Yeah, and because he was the owner of that, he's like he's like a German beer hall type place. Their old tasting room. They're opening their new facility that's just opening up now, where they have a whole new brew house. Whatever. He got kicked out of the old brewery that we were working out of.
Okay.
Because they're building like a skyscraper thing. It's like, dude, we used to just like I would get there early and I just like the skyline, New York City skyline from the view from that brewery was like amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, now they're building apartments there.
They're building up that whole.
And they fucking kick it
Eminent
out
domain.
and just like, yeah, it's crazy. So
Nice building you got there. Here's fair market value. Get
Right.
out.
but that's what Ed was, fuck you. And then they're like, how about this? And he's like, oh. And then he knew in the direction where we kind of like they're not regional, or they won't, like, I don't know if they'd be regional, but like, they were doing some distro with their cans in the city. Where we had one sales guy who would like self-distro. And so there's a lot of demand where it's like, we'd only allocate so many cases because we're only doing so much beer. So all these little bars and stuff all around the tri-state area are like, oh, we want more. Every time it's like, you gotta cut them off. You don't have it.
Right. You have to have your own place.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so the other place fell through, got this spot, saw it could work. At the same time, my good friend who's helping me out, because he's like handy with stuff, he was like, I saw him Pro Brewer, because I just sat there for every day, refreshing the page of Pro Brewer.
Oh yeah, to see what you can get.
Yeah, so Lithology was selling their 3-barrel. And I was like, yeah, I can make this work. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is great. And like literally my friend's like, yo, I talked to them, because again, he's friendly. He's like, yeah, I'm going to bring my truck to you, I want to pick you up, we'll pick it up, and like, get the bank, get the cash, there we go. So I was like, wow. Meanwhile, it's like, if I'm doing a full 10-barrel brew house, that's like a whole process,
Right. You just picked that up like just randomly.
That day.
And then we were brewing on it in your backyard, like weeks
Yeah,
later.
literally, yeah. It was fucking awesome. Yeah, me, Phil, Gervaisi, and Lee, we were in one batch. Because again, I didn't do like a Kickstarter type thing. I just had a giant ass party in my backyard. It's probably like 150 people there.
Wow.
And like a couple bands playing. And I brewed a barrel of beer for that. We all did, like we brewed a barrel. I split it, I took half, 15 gallons off. And that was like the lightly hopped pale ale, summer ale.
Right.
I dose each keg or whatever. Where it's like regular people, it's good. And then the other half, I whirlpooled the fuck out of it. With some juice hops. Juiced it out, dry hopped it to all hell, and then I had that. So I literally just rolled my kegerator outside. I had the 2 taps going, and we had a whole table, so some people just donated when I was like selling shirts and stuff. And a lot of my friends who I've given free beer out to for years.
Right.
Kind of
Paying it back.
You're paying it back, throw stuff in. So that definitely helped. That was fun. And then yeah, I just knew like again it's like, oh, 3 barrel now I can get away with not having flagpole jacket and everything. I can do this and do that. Again, hanging around the Brewers Collective the past couple of years and seeing what they were doing, even through a Geo spot.
Yeah.
You know, now they have it all hooked up, but
Yeah, but they've grown it. But they did a good job moving into it and growing into their space.
yeah, absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, they were very like the last space. They're very creative on how they got everything set up.
Yeah.
And everything. So yeah, I can imagine getting a lot of inspiration from that.
Yeah, so big time. And then like I went there one day and taking a stretch and everyone showed me around, showed me all their thing because it's. I also read a ton of books, reading online. Again, being in brew houses and like understanding like what's necessary. And then it's also like you hear so much about, oh, the TTB wants this, the SLA wants this, and then like I end up doing the stuff and I'm like, again, things change where it's like my license is delayed because in January the New York State foreign brewery license switched from 20% to 60%.
Right.
20 to 60, it's like.
Yeah.
And then the next jump is to 90, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
80
I think it's 80 or 90, in like 2 years. So again, there's some benefits there, but I was like, I'm not even gonna try to play that game right now. I'll probably end up getting a dual license and having both of them.
Yeah, you feel like you can't get it later.
Yeah, they're all out the gate. So that everyone in January jumped and was like they were putting their paperwork in to get either both licenses or switch to micro.
Right. So then you have to imagine that delay, and then you had a nice government shutdown for a little bit.
I was gonna say that helped as well. Yeah. But I mean, I again, it's been a year. I signed the lease July 15th, so I don't know what that is. It's all
Nice,
July
14th.
15th. July 14th is the day before. July 14th.
before,
Yeah,
yeah,
something
so
a
a
year.
year
Yeah.
ago. Yeah. So again, it hasn't
This is
been,
a lot of fucking work in a year for
It
doing it
has.
yourself, man.
Yeah, so that's the thing is like even the town's like you don't have a contractor, like it says on my building permit on there, it's like Cook Corp.
Yeah.
It's like
Who's that? Me. What do you have?
because again in like
I define
in
sole
reality
proprietor.
it's like simple stuff, but it's gonna die.
Yeah, the thing is, like, a million simple things can take just as long, if not
Oh,
longer,
you know
than
it,
one
yeah.
really big thing.
Again, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. No, it's like I didn't have a crew. It's really just been me and a couple of friends.
It's badass, man. It's actually even cooler. It's got to be, I mean, it's a lot of satisfaction imagining opening your own business to begin with.
Yeah.
But then to literally look around and go, I made that, I did that, I painted that, I stained that, like, just to stand in one place and see it all at
Yeah.
one time, it's got to be overwhelming.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been feeling good. I'm just really excited to start brewing because I'm a brewer.
Well, that's the point. Yeah.
I mean, I went to it's some post college. I don't even know what you would call this place, or it's I've learned, but not by choice, everything, which is cool. And
Yeah, but when some shit breaks now, you'll be able to fix it. It'll save you money in the long term, too.
Exactly. Like,
You're almost there too, because you just got a pallet of malt delivered, right?
yeah.
Oh,
It's
man.
2 pounds.
Yeah, well, there's all sorts of fun stuff on there. Big, we see rolled oats, we see white wheat.
My favorite that I mentioned earlier is the sack of lactose. I'm fairly certain between Mark and I, we could buy a sack of lactose and then bury ourselves with that.
Yeah. So
That's all right because you guys just buy rye by the set.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got some lactose, got a bunch of the basement in the back. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
If you enjoyed Beertastic Voyage, please be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to review and rate us. The guys can be found online at www.beertasticvoyage.com, on Facebook at www.facebook.com/beertasticvoyage, and Twitter and Instagram at Beertastic Show, or send them a good old-fashioned email at beertasticvoyage@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and cheers for local beers.